So. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلاة ربي وسلامه ورحمته وبركاته على ذاك النبي الكريم نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد. As we continue in the next pillar, we stopped at the dua al-istiftah. We said that in English is translated as the supplication of opening the prayer. Dua al-istiftah. Technically, istiftah means inauguration, which means to open up. Open up the prayer by a supplication. That our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, and may Allah raise his rank. You'll find that the supplication, after he said Allahu Akbar and put his right over his left, he would say a supplication first. He would say a supplication. And there's many variations of it. There's different types. But you'll find in the book, and go back to the PDF we put in the Telegram, everyone. It's a copy of it that we're utilizing. And if you open it, it should read as the pillars. So first, if you open up the PDF, it gives you the conditions. So we finished the conditions. And we'll go over it again, don't worry. Then we moved on to the pillars of the prayer. We moved on to the pillars. But this matter here is not a pillar. This is not a pillar of the prayer that one reads the supplication in the prayer. It's something optional. So that supplication, if you say it, and we just gave an example, we said, Subhanaka, Subhanaka, Allahumma wa bihamdik. We'll go over it, don't worry, in the books of the Fortress of the Muslim, as we did a couple of months ago, but we'll do it again. Just to say quickly in Arabic, and you don't have to say it, like we said, for a person that's a new Muslim and recently embraced Islam, one does not have to say this. So this will come in time. So it's a gradual process. So you don't have to say it. And if you don't say it, it will not harm the prayer, as we said before, Maghrib. So don't worry about it. But if one can, then one should if he's able. But if not, like we said, don't worry about it. This supplication, what they call istiftah, is done in a low voice, what they call sir, meaning you whisper it. For example, you stand up, say Allahu Akbar, put the right over the left. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. You say it like that, whisper. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika, like that. You whisper it to yourself. You don't say it loud. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. No, that's incorrect. So this type of supplication, this optional supplication, is done in a low whispering voice. In a low whispering voice. Well, like we said, for a person that's recently embraced Islam, no need to worry. So don't worry about that. We'll cover that at a different time. So our focus primarily is connected with what? The pillars. Again, so let's keep going in the next pillar we want to mention. So let's read it together. Another thing, so after you say this dua, so now I'm saying the steps and I repeat constantly so people can remember. And like I said, I repeat to the point where everybody says it's getting on my nerves. So you say Allahu Akbar, put your right over your left. Do not follow the Muslims who pray like this. That's incorrect. You see Muslims go like this. Allahu Akbar. And they pray with their hands to the side. That is a bid'ah. It's a bid'ah. It's an innovation to pray with your hands to the side. There's no narration that the Prophet Muhammad prayed with his hands to the side. You will never find it. You will never find not one evidence, not in the book of Allah, nor in authentic sunnah, that he prayed with his hands to the side. We have been commanded to follow who? our Prophet Muhammad, and his authentic sunnah. If you see Muslims doing this, this is a innovation. Innovation meaning something that was newly introduced into the religion that has no evidence for it. As we just said, the Prophet Muhammad, what did he say? Pray as you see me what? Pray. Give me one evidence where the Prophet Muhammad prayed like this. Give me one. You'll never find it. You'll never find it. So, if you do walk into a masjid, and this is for the new shahadas, everyone, and everyone who recently embraced Islam, you go to a masjid, you see the imam praying like this. What do you do? What do you do? Do you pray with your hands to the side? No, you still pray like this. If the imam is praying like this, you have not been obliged to follow him in a bid'ah. Okay? You do not follow the imam in a bid'ah. You only follow the imam of what was in accordance with what? The sunnah. You follow him. The Prophet ﷺ commanded you follow the imam in the prayer and what agrees with the authentic sunnah. Not in the innovation that he falls into. So if you walk into a masjid, in which more than likely I know you're going to go to a country or go to a land that they pray like this. You will see it. I've seen it. You're going to go to a land, you're going to go to a country, you're going to go to a masjid one day, and you're going to see some very strange things. And our Prophet Muhammad said that you definitely want to see some strange things that goes against what he commanded. Those are from them. So he said, فَإِنَّكُمْ مَن يَعِشْ مِنْكُمْ فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا وَعَلَيْكُمْ بِسُنَّتِي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعدي تمسكوا بها وعضوا عليها بالنواجذ وإياكم محدثات الأمور فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Till end of the hadith. Hadith Ubad ibn Sariyah, and it's in Arba'in al-Nawawiyah. It's in there. So the narration, it says, verily who leads from amongst you, he's going to see a lot of different. You're going to see a lot of weird things. So again, if you go to a masjid and they're praying like this, do not follow him and his bid'ah, okay? You put your hands like this. Not up here, not all the way down here, or nor like this. It's right in the middle. The end, just like Imam al-Albani said, his position is the strongest. He said, we have the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said it clearly. Pray as you see me pray. It's clear. Pray as you see me pray. Oh, I forgot something. So now, once you now takbir, Allahu Akbar, put your left right here, not too far up, not too far down, right in the middle, right here. Now you can say dua al-istiftah. That's if you are able. If you don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about that right now. But I'm just going to say it so I can show the order to prayer. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. What comes next is what we're going to talk about now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So that in that order, that's how you do it. That's how, in that order exactly. Allahu Akbar, put it either here. We said you could put it at the length you wear your shoulders. Allahu Akbar or Allahu Akbar. Is this correct? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Wrong. You say like this, you do just like this. Allahu Akbar or Allahu Akbar. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, tabarak ismuka, to the end of the dua. Then, that's what we're going to speak about now. It's called isti'adha. Isti'adha. Isti'adha is to seek refuge in Allah. Or take Him as a recourse to give you protection. That's what we're going to speak about now. That's what we'll speak about right now. So after the supplication, or that supplication called istiftah, if you go to your book, it says, A'udhu billah, A'udhu, A'udhu, A'udhu. Not A'udhu, A'udhu, A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. What are you saying? Saying, I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed devil. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil. This statement here is from the greatest of affairs. Actually, it's establishing what you were created for. What you were created for is the worship of Allah. That's what every human being is in this world for. It was created to be submissive, to be subservient to your Creator. How you do that is what they call ibadah. Ibadah is worship. From the types of worship is here, which is called isti'adha. Isti'adha means to seek refuge or to take refuge, meaning you're seeking protection. You're seeking protection with Allah from a creation He created, which is called the accursed devil. So this statement that you say in your prayer, you're actualizing what they call a great form of worship. That worship is called seeking refuge. That's a form of worship. That worship is only for your Creator. This type of worship is only for Allah. If you seek refuge in other than the Creator, that will nullify Islam. That's called polytheism. That polytheism will nullify your Islam. If isti'adha is for other than Allah, seeking refuge is for other than Allah will nullify your Islam. If you say, I seek refuge, and if you was in a prayer, you say, Ana a'udhu bi wali fulan. If you say, I seek refuge in wali so-and-so. Those type of matters, again, are the most ugliest of matters as it comes in our religion, which is called polytheism. Polytheism is when worship of Allah is given to other than Allah. Worship of Allah is given to other than Allah. When you give a right that's only for Allah, you give that right that's exclusively and specifically for Allah only, you give it to someone of the creation. So isti'adha here is only for what? Only for Allah. Here, this is how you do it. You're saying in a statement in your prayer, A'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil. Also, this establishes that we believe and there is a what? There's an accursed devil, meaning from the unseen. There is your greatest enemy who wants your downfall. We'll talk about that in a minute. He wants your downfall, he wants your demise, and he wants you to lose. And he wants you to go to an eternal, I don't want to say damnation, but eternal punishment. He wants you to end up in eternal punishment forever. So he's your enemy. So that's the reason why in this we've been commanded to seek protection from Allah from him. Which is to let you know that he's a what? He's an enemy to you. He's an enemy to you. So, this isti'adha. If I could go back a little bit. So, the isti'adha here, again, the word al-isti'adha. Question. Is it for the prayer? Or is it for what? Qira'ah or for recitation? Or, as a matter of fact, let's just say, is it from those matters that if, let's just say, one doesn't say it, does it harm your prayer? Does it nullify it? We say no. If you say the isti'adha, that's something that's what? Highly recommended. If you do not say it, then that affair will not nullify your prayer. The dalil for that, and we'll talk about the verse. There's a verse in the Quran where Allah did command it. But if you go back to the commentary, they said the matter ala sabil al-nadb, that there is forms of where Allah commands, but it's in a manner that is highly recommended. We'll talk about that in a minute. Don't worry. Due to the fact that there's an authentic narration where the Messenger of Allah in the khutbah recited verses and he didn't say A'udhu billah. He was in the khutbah and he recited verses from the Quran and he did not say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. If he says it, then it's excellent. But there are times where the Messenger of Allah informed to show the other what? Ruling. Where he, alayhi salatu wasalam, was given a khutbah. We'll talk about this in a minute, the authenticity of the khutbah. And he recited verses, and he did not say the isti'adha before he what? Recited the verses. He just mentioned them in the khutbah, and he didn't say, A'udhu billah, kept saying, A'udhu billah min ash-shaytan. Every ayah that he's recited, he didn't say. Now, every person that knows, if they go to a talk, every verse that recited, do you notice the person saying, A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim? قال الله تعالى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان قال الله تعالى أعوذ بالله. You understand, everyone? So the verse, if you say it, excellent. If you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, legislate it. You could do it. Excellent. But if one doesn't do it, does that now affect the matter or affect what you're doing? We said no, especially in the prayer. And we'll talk about that in a minute. That's coming. Don't worry. Like before that, like we said, so write in your notes that there's a consensus that the isti'adha, the seeking of refuge with Allah, is highly recommended. That's all you got to put. It's highly recommended. There's a verse where Allah mentions in His book, He said, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Excuse me. If you recite the Quran or if you read the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil. You'll find that the consensus of the Sahaba, the consensus of the companions, they say that this matter is what they call ala sabil al-nadb or mandub, meaning mustahab, highly recommended. So the origin of the ruling, of course, started with the Book of Allah. Then the Message of Allah came with clarification, as authentic Sunnah, to change, to put the proper understanding of the ruling. Where he, alayhi salatu wasalam, when he recited the Quran or verses of the Quran, and he was given a sermon, he was delivering a sermon, and for those verses he did not utter the best or the isti'adha. He did not utter the isti'adha where he uttered the seeking refuge of Allah in that wording called A'udhu billah. So that is an evidence to show that the origin was the obligation, and then the Sunnah changed the what? Changed the ruling. You understand, everyone? So in the aspect of the message of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not what? In verses that he recited within the khutbah, as we said, he did not mention the isti'adha. They say in the narration, he read verses from Surah Al-Imran. They say he recited verses from Surah An-Nisa, and he recited verses from Surah Al-Ahzab in the khutbah during Jumu'ah. In the khutbah during Jumu'ah. When he inaugurated the khutbah, he did not say the isti'adha. From that is khutbah al-haja. Khutbah al-haja. You say khutbah al-haja, do I say A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim when I say Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih? Have you ever heard me say A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim? Anyone? No. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. Did I say it? يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله. To the end of it. Did you hear him say? Or did you hear me say? So when you recite or you read khutbah al-haja, in addition to those verses from those different surah that we just mentioned, from Surah Al-Imran, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Ahzab, I just said it. We just said it. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم, Surah Al-Nisa. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته. That's Surah Al-Imran. And Surah Al-Ahzab is يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. That's Surah Al-Ahzab. I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. Surah An-Nisa is يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبل. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu. No. I just said it. Well, you just threw me off. What did you say? You said something. What did you say? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. That's Surah what? Surah An-Nisa. Good. Surah Al-Imran, which one? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah. Huh? No, that's Surah Al-Ahzab. Huh? Surah huh? What's Surah Al-Imran? Which one? You guys are tired today. Anyway, those are the three ayat to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned from Surah An-Nisa, Surah Al-Ahzab, and Surah Al-Imran. Those verses when he said the khutbah al-hajah, when he opened up the khutbah al-jumu'ah, you didn't hear him say what? You didn't hear him say the isti'adha. You didn't hear it. Even though he recited what? Verses in the Quran. Even though he recited verses in the Quran, he did not say the isti'adha. So that's a clear evidence to show that mentioning the isti'adha is what? It's highly recommended. Highly recommended. To the point where it says the consensus of the companions is that it is highly recommended. What's the evidence again, everyone? The evidence is in the authentic traditions of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he recited those verses in Surah Al-Imran, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Ahzab. He did not say the isti'adha when he recited those verses. So that's the evidence. So the origin, like we said in the Quran, it says, دَلَّ عَلَىٰ أَنَّ الْأَمْرَ بِالْإِسْتِعَاذَةِ لَيْسَ أَمْرًا عَلَى الْوُجُوبِ. It's not in a manner that is in, like we said, an obligation. Rather, as we said, it's in a manner that is what? Highly recommended. So again, if one does not know how to say, أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ, it does not affect your what? Does not affect your prayer. So two things we said did not affect your prayer. Number one is the supplication of what they call istiftah. That's the first thing. Istiftah means what you open the prayer with, or the supplication of opening the prayer with. If you do not know it, it does not harm your prayer. And if you do not say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, if you do not know how to say it yet, it does not what? Harm your prayer. But one should, to their best of ability, learn it and say it. Why? Because you're seeking refuge in Allah from the accursed devil, that he would cause some form of confusion within your prayer, or he causes some form of confusion in your recitation or your reading of the Book of Allah. But let's just say a person just newly embraced Islam, they don't know how to say it yet, they're trying, and he wants to pray or she wants to pray immediately, and they leave it off. It does not affect the what? Does not affect the prayer. But to the best of their ability, they should learn immediately, to the best of their ability, according to, like we said, their condition and their diligence. So it says here, هَلْ هِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ. So we said, is it for the salah or is it for recitation or reading in general? Like we said, it's for recitation too. So it's not just salam. So it's not just for prayer, it's also what? Qira'ah. So the ayah is talking about what? Qira'ah. It's talking about recitation. Recitation. The recitation was in the what? The reading was in the prayer or out what? The prayer. So it's not just only for what? The salah, as one would say. So isti'adha is broader. Seek a refuge. So again, I'm going to ask the question. We'll stop here, inshallah, because it seems like you guys are getting because I keep seeing your eyes. Is the isti'adha, is it for only the prayer or is it for recitation also? Which one? It's for both. It's for the prayer and it's for what? Recitation. It's for in the prayer and out the prayer. Or is it just for the prayer? Said it's for both. Good. So if you want to say generally, it's for qira'ah, general recitation. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah the mighty and majestic, he mentions in his book and says, if you recite the Quran, if you read the Quran rather. إِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنِ. As the verse says, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنِ. قَرَأ or قِرَاءة means reading. Reading. What does that mean? يعني إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَقْرَأَ الْقُرْآنِ. If you wanted to read the Quran. So that's the meaning of the verse. If you want to read the Quran, whether it be in the prayer or outside the prayer. Whether it be in the prayer or outside the prayer. But like we said, one just recently embraced Islam, their new Shahada. You don't know how to say it, you do not know how to say it correctly yet, don't worry. But inshallah, once you have the ability, learn how to say it. Because you want protection from the devil. You want protection, because what you're seeking from Allah is protection from the devil. So this word a'udhu means I'm seeking refuge. If you want to say it fancy, in a fancy way, I'm seeking recourse. From who? From Allah. Recourse, refuge, or if you want to say it in simple terms, protection. Protection. So you could say a'udhu means I seek Allah's protection, or I'm seeking with Allah protection from the accursed devil. In the Arabic language, and I'm not going to translate this, a'udhu, you can say aludhu, a'udhu, no, you can't say aludhu. I'm just giving meanings. Only you, a'udhu, that's the only thing you say. A'udhu, I'm just giving meanings, giving clarification. Aludhu, al-taji'u wa a'tasimu. Meaning, I'm taking you as a recourse, O Allah, and I'm taking as a form of protection that you give me protection from the accursed devil. From the accursed devil. As we'll talk about, like we said, that's the only thing you have to memorize. There's other variations, so don't worry about it. Person's saying, if you can memorize one, that's enough. If you can memorize one, that's enough. The one that's in the book, that suffices. You can say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That's enough. But there is other variations. A person might say, what about A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim min hamzihi wa nafthihi wa nafkhih or nafthihi wa nafkhih. That's one. That's another one. There's another variation. A'udhu billahi as-sami'il alim minash shaitanir rajim min hamzihi wa nafthihi wa nafkhih. That's another variation. You can say all of them, but don't worry about that. Just say what is in the book, and that suffices. Say what is in the book, and that's enough. By saying, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So, A'udhu again means I take you, O Allah, as refuge or recourse or protection from the accursed devil. That's the meaning of the word a'udhu. 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 That's the only one you can say. Okay, everyone? Do not say other than a'udhu. A'udhu is the only one. Do not say al-iyadh or iyadha billah. No, not in the salat. You can't say al-iyadha billah. You can't say that. You cannot say al-iyadhu billah. No, you cannot say that. Nor can you say ma'adallah, even though they're all correct. You can say linguistically. All of it's correct. Ma'adallah, al-awwal billah, or al-iyadh billah, or al-iyadhu billah. All of them linguistically are correct. But the message of Allah only said what? One type, which is a'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. Good. This says in the book, if you look, the shaitan, ash-shaitan. You're saying, oh Allah, put the devil, ash-shaitan, put him far away. Ash-shaitan al-rajim, everyone, means al-mub'ad, to be put far away. The accursed means to be put far away. The verb in the Arabic language of the word shaitan comes from the word shatana. Shatana, which means ba'uda. Shatana. Sheen, ta, noon. Shatana. The linguistic meaning means ba'uda, to be far away. To be far away. The intent here, as we know, everyone, the intent here is the biggest devil, who is Iblis. Alayhi la'a'in Allah. Iblis is the major devil, the biggest devil. That's who you're seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from him. And what comes under it, in addition to that, is his progeny. His progeny, what they call shayateen, the devils of the jinn. The devils of the jinn. The shayateen of jinn. The shayateen of the jinn, the devils from the jinn, are disbelievers. The kafir, the kuffar. So the devils from the jinn, as we know, there's an unseen creation that has also been created to worship Allah. To worship Allah. That creation are called who? The jinn. The jinn are another creation. You cannot see them. In most cases, you can't see them. From time to time, they'll appear. From time to time, from here and there. But in most cases, they are what the word means. They are what the word means. Jinn, in actually, linguistically in the Arabic language, means hidden. It means hidden. Jinn. For example, the word Mijanna or Mijin or Mijen, it means shield in Arabic. It means to what? To hide. To give you protection. Also, for example, Janeen in the Arabic language means something that is in the womb of a woman, developing. Meaning the fetus when it grows into a type of formation in the trimester when it starts to form. When it starts to form in the actual creation of the baby starts to now take a form, that's called janeen. Why is it called janeen? Because it's what? It's hidden. It's hidden in the womb of the mother. So it's called janeen. So notice that the word jinn, the origin of the meaning returns back to something what? Hidden. Hidden. Why is a person called majnoon or junoon? Insane. Why? Because their intellect became hidden. The sound state of their mind became hidden. Or a person's majnoon or junoon. Insanity. So insanity or crazy, that's because the intellect has become hidden. So that's the reason why these are all derivatives of the word jinn. Jinn, like we said, means in most cases it's hidden. That's why they're called jinn. But from sometimes they appear from time to time. They do show themselves from time to time, but not all the time. But in most cases, they hide themselves and keep themselves concealed from the eyes can see. That in creation, which is called the jinn, that was created to worship Allah also. That jinn that was created to worship Allah, there's from them who are devils. They're called shayateen al-jinn. They're kuffar. They're disbelievers. Likewise, they are from the jinn who are also Muslims. Yes, they are. They're from the jinn who are Muslimun. There's a whole surah on it, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, it's called the surah of the jinn. And they speak about themselves. Allah reveals to the Prophet ﷺ them speaking about themselves, telling them about themselves, and telling their reality of who they are. So it's a whole surah on it. If you read it, they're saying that they're from them who are believers, and they're from them who are disbelievers, and they're from amongst them who are different sects and religions. Yes, they are. They're from the jinn who are from Ahl Sunnah. Yes, they're from the jinn who are from Ahl Sunnah, Salafi, Ahl Hadith, to the end of it. Yes. They're from the jinn who are kuffar, who are worshippers of the idols, who are also following other ways, Christianity, Yahud, to the end of it. They're all different times. They're all different ways. All different religions. And like we said, from amongst them who are what? Believers, and they are Sunni, Ahl Sunnah, from the jinn, who are Muslims. And they're from Ahl Sunnah also. May Allah protect them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them tawfiq. They are from brothers from the jinn. And the Messenger of Allah did say that. Brothers from the jinn who are from the Muslims. Type, so let's keep going. So, who are the shayateen of the jinn? Those are kuffar. Also, you seek a refuge in Allah from the shayateen from human beings. So you have the devil who you seek a refuge in. You have number two, the shayateen from the jinn. And then you have shayateen from human beings. And there are shayateen from human beings out there. That comes in the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-A'raf. This is Surah Al-A'raf, from what I remember. I have to get the number, I'll get it for you later. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in his book, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوا فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ وَلِتَصْغَى إِلَيْهِ أَفْئِدَةُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ وَلِيَرْضَوْهُ وَلِيَقْتَرِفُوا مَا هُمْ بِمُقْتَرِفُونَ. That's an ayah. Anyway, that ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in his book, He said, likewise we revealed, we have made for the prophet, for every prophet, كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ an enemy, شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ, made an enemy from the devils, from the jinn, and the human beings. يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا. He said they inspire one another for decorated speech to allure you, and to entice you, and to fool you. So that is to show what? That there are shayateen out there that are from human beings. They're from what? From the jinn. Good. So when you say isti'adha, everyone, you are seeking refuge in Allah from all of those types. From the major devil, who's Iblis, alayhi la'a'in Allah, in addition to what, everyone? From the shayateen of jinn, and the shayateen from the ins, from the human beings. Good. We'll stop here, inshallah. What's the number? Ayat number what? Surah Al-A'raf, right? Surah Al-A'raf, ayat number 112. Oh no, An'am was Surah Al-A'raf. You sure? Let me see. Just want to make sure. Surah Al-An'am? All right, Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am. My mistake, everyone. Surah Al-An'am. Ayat number, what says it? 100. This doesn't say 112. 112? This is 112. Oh, that's the page. Oh, there it is. 112, you're right. Ithnay Ashar, 112. Surah Al-An'am. So my mistake, everyone, correct that. Surah Al-An'am, ayat number 112. We'll stop here, inshallah. I didn't even realize the time. That time passed by very quickly. So put a mark on that, everyone. So the two pillars we covered, number one is what? Standing with ability. Number two is what? Takbirah al-ihram. What's the ruling in regards to the supplication to open up the prayer? What do we say? Sunnah. Good. What about the isti'adha? Sunnah. Nadib. Mandub. Highly recommended. And then the next, we'll talk about, like we said, next class, inshallah. We'll suffice with this today, inshallah. نكتفي بهذا القدر. Is any questions? وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Is there any questions? There is any questions, is there? I don't think it is. You didn't see it? Is there any? Okay. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Testing. Testing. Testing.
Is it harmful if somebody knows the istiftah but they don't say it?
No, it's not sunnah. It's mustahab. It's highly recommended. If they don't say it, will they harm their prayer? No.
No, I'm not saying harm their prayer, but I'm saying if they know, for example, if somebody knows one of the sunnah but they don't implement it.
I don't know anybody purposefully that will memorize something and then not implement it in their prayer.
Laziness. Might just get lazy.
Laziness.
No, we say that in the instance of the hukum, if they do it out of laziness, it doesn't affect the prayer. But definitely for one that knows, they should act upon what they know. Absolutely.